Hello, everyone. Like Ninja here, that engineer, and yeah. Look at the story. We're just talking about the Switch Two, and the lack of era of Switch Two ness. Um, Following up on my video I did yesterday, just doing that quick review of the Nintendo Direct. Fix these audio lows. La 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 la. There we go. And yeah, consensus is what I was on. That it sucked. It was pretty bad. Um, I don't even know what else to say. There's nothing to get hype about. The Switch 2 itself is kind of like meh. And the other news that came out actually was apparently the PlayStation 5 outsold the Switch 2 not this holiday, which I was like, seriously? The handheld, they're around the same price. And yeah, I think actually the PlayStation 5 might be technically more expensive. And yeah, there was more sales. Just, I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. Switch 2 is not the Switch 1. Switch 1 was a marvel. I misspoke on one of my videos before when I was talking about like the revolution. Technically, the first Android handheld with docking capability, I forgot to say, is actually the PS Vita. So shout out to the Vita. It didn't do anything, but definitely set that blueprint for what would become the Switch, right? With the whole Android background, docking capabilities, console gaming in the handheld form factor. Switch perfected it, but the Vita and the PSP walked, where the Switch could run. And then as leads to the Steam Deck, which then leads to the Legion Goes and ROG allies that we have now. Um, and I appreciate. And even further, the stuff that I really appreciate, which is these beautiful, the uprising of the androids that, like I said, they've been, I guess, as far as gaming, anyone who's gamed or emulated knows that Android's been like the top. They're risky devices, but they come with developers that actually care, and it also comes with an ecosystem that's not Apple, so it's not rose gardened. Um, and with that, it's always been development. So on top of the fact that their SoC, the lead is actually very powerful. That's what I've been spending most of my time with since I've gotten it. Compared to this boy right here, it's good old Switch 2. But shout out to D Brand for sponsoring the channel. You know what I mean? Giving us. I'm just kidding. They didn't really do this, but I did want to try out this Steve Brand thing. It doesn't mind. It's I guess the newer one. It doesn't have the weird old situation where they were falling off. I like the case, but I also did like my Skull Candy. This bad boy. There's no detachable controllers on this, so I'm in between. We'll see, but one day D Brand will be sponsoring me, and I'm gonna be like, nah, I don't want it. Um, 'Cause, yeah, I'm not trying to do product placement or none of that jazz. Anyways, go back to Switch 2. So yeah, this piece. So I want to raise a couple questions. Does anyone have the situation? So I got mine's launch, right? It's a launch one where it just dies for no reason at all. Like I don't play my Switch 2, unfortunately. I have it. It sits on the shelf most of the time, and I kid you not, every time I do go to pick it up after it's sitting in idle, it's dead. It doesn't. I guess the battery does not. The battery and idle state are not favorable or optimized. I'm literally looking at stuff like, for example, the PSP Go, which I have one, and I kid you not, I left it in its idle state for like 2 weeks, and it still had 30% battery left. So I don't understand how a device from like 2011, 12 can get it right, and this new device, which is brand new, and I'm supposed to be like I said, it does good on power management when the game is playing, right? Everyone's seen the specs on Cyberpunk 2077 running at 8 watts, which is at 720p with HDR, which is crazy when you consider like Steam Deck struggles, with the machine, the marvel it is, running at low power and with all that frame gen and stuff. It's still, yeah, not no 8 watts. That's just not possible. So that's the one thing I would always give the Switch, and people do the little goofy comparisons. But once again, when it comes to the idle state, you press the Switch, or sorry, you press the Steam Deck, and that thing can, I want to say I've kept my Steam Deck in idle position for just days at a time. Like this, it just sits there. You wake it up, it's ready to go. I don't understand if it's just my Switch 2 or if it's just the launch Switch 2s and they maybe like did a silent fix over time. But yeah, this battery they need to firmware it or they need to do a recall because there's no way that it just I don't I would have to time it, but in an idle state, or I think the only thing that could be going on is maybe like background Wi-Fi. There's no reason it should be dying like this. It's very much unacceptable for a brand new console. And I just wanted to raise that question and see if anyone else is having the same issue. Because yeah, if so, Nintendo, you need to address it. Not with no firmware update. Something I don't know. This is weird. It's such a. It's literally making me question bringing it on this trip I'm going on soon. It's like it's gonna reach in the pocket. It's gonna be dead. Compared to like the Odin here, which yeah, no, this thing be telling me it have battery life for days, and that's probably has to do with the OLED screen and the idea of battery power consumption with superpower that the original Switch uh, kind of and Steam Deck eventually kind of gave us. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments if there are comments if y'all are experiencing the same thing. I don't like it. It's new and it makes me want to play my Switch 2 less. Sorry, even less than I already play because I don't touch it. Dragon Quest, 7 came out today, and I'm still in the fence if I want to get it on here because I've played it like I mentioned in a previous video on the 3DS. Played it on mostly Nintendo consoles, but it's just like as much as I want to pick it up on the Switch 2 because it looks good, it's 1080p. The screen sucks. I kind of would rather play it in HDR, like that looks like HDR, or like an OLED if so. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards the Steam version, so I could just probably play it on here, nice OLED, or if anything, just a nice 1080p screen that's slightly bigger than the Switch because the Switch is technically 8 inches, but I think it's like 7.9 or some goofy stuff like that. And this is like pure 8, which is pure 8 and no ghosting on that IPS. So either way, I'm gonna wait till I beat. I'm in the middle of still Dragon Quest 3 HD. So once I beat that, I'll make that decision. For sure. What else? Let's see. I want to cover some stuff. We talked about Nintendo losing to. They lost stock. They lost. People did not like the direct just as much as they have. They lost to Sony in sales for the holiday season. It's been a strange time for them. Let's see. But if you can find one, right? I wouldn't recommend it because they're probably going to charge premium for the terabytes, which I want to do a video on that. It's so crazy that I bought like almost 12 terabytes or something last year, and I think it was in prep for the situation that's going on now. Because my goodness, talk about tripling in prices of the like I remember I looked back and I made sure, but there was literally a whole. Like I got a few like gaming based SSDs, um, high read and write speeds over 5K or whatever, and 1 terabyte was like $50. Prime Day stuff, 2 terabytes like 112. I got a 4 terabyte for like 200. All those things now is like $700. It's kind of crazy. I was thinking like, hey, extra ones. No, 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 no. I didn't get enough. I didn't know, but I did know. I did actually know. I didn't want to tell everyone. I made some SSD NASs and all these things for my storage. I'm like, yo, someone's bubbling up. I can sense it. Let's see. Wow, hey, Leon Thomas, Tokyo. I do not recommend the Retro Pocket 6. It's too much competition out right now. Like, for real. I'm mad that I got my because I got my Retroid Pocket 5 late. I got it and I love it. Oh, that's another thing I did want to talk about. Everyone who's got the Android, right? Retroid Pocket, if you do got a 5 or 6, Snapdragon 865 and above, right? So that means 865, which is this, the 8 Gen 2, which would be, the Odin 2 and the Portal and whatever, the Magamami, um, the Thor, all those. Yo, when it comes to that really really cool thing that these are now able to do, because before what made Android so awesome, right, was it was able to play Switch almost better than the original system. It's gotten to a point now where they've updated it between Edith and Citron and whatever. Citron does come on iOS now. It's pretty lit. They've done it so much and essentially optimized it to where it's like you can almost play Switch, or you should be able to play Switch better on these now with an OLED screen that's better than the Switch OLED. And yeah, it's they're still developing and it's really amazing and it makes you just I'm wondering when the Nintendo's gonna cut off their Switch support because they're leaving a whole because of the hack situation of it. It's just a whole like generation of games that we can play elsewhere better. Anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being able to play Steam games, which makes Androids, the Switch. If they had made the Switch 2 the way it should have been, it could be a beneficiary of to this. It is an Android device, and right now the big deal is the Windows emulation scene on Androids. It's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and this is the reason I kind of got my Odin 3. I'm not gonna lie. Being able to play PC games in full 1080p, 144 hertz on the go. When it's like you're supposed to be able to do it here, technically you can do it here. It's like 500 for this one that barely does it, or three almost 400, about the same for this one with H. I don't know, man. So PC games, level games, or sorry, not PC level. PC level is what the Switch 2 provides. And I saw some of the, like I said, the Indiana Jones and whatever else they were showing, where you can tell from the textures it's like it's medium level settings on PC. It's not to save in certain areas. They're doing the same thing they did on the Switch, even with DLS, right? So with that, unlike that, unlike the Androids like the One Pluses and stuff that has using this Elite chipset, way more powerful, can tap into these custom drivers, custom turnip drivers, and with that, you're able to play these PC games on high epic settings, and I've been having a blast with it. I will say it was Tinkertown trying to figure out which was the best method for me. I tried doing the whole Game Hub situation first. That was fun. It wasn't. Um, I don't know. Game Hub in my experience is really bad. I didn't like it. Or no, it was fine, but then it just got really wonky, and I don't know how else to explain the situation. A lot of the games would act like they're working, they'll stop working. Loading stuff manually was hit or miss. It was this wasn't a fun time. I tried Wing later, which is a lot more tinkering. Boy, I got it to work on my Retroid Pocket 5, but for some reason it don't work nice on the Odin, which is more powerful. I was looking forward to using that power, but what it ended up doing is pushing me to the last one, which is called Game Native, which I fall in love with Game Native. I don't know how it hasn't gotten more high praises. It's literally taking the Game Hub and Win Later stuff, but like it's just like Game Hub Lite, and it don't ask for a bunch, but it provides all those tweaks and community support. That, anyways, Game Native is the one that I've now downloaded, and all the games that I couldn't get to work at some point are now working just fine. Controller support. I don't have to do all this extra remapping. Hey, in this YouTuber, or not necessarily YouTuber, but in this gamer's opinion of the current scape, I'm going Game Native first. I would say maybe Win Later second. Game Hub is like I mean, I'm saying Game Hub Lite because I don't think I'll ever download the actual Game Hub with all the privacy permission BS. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Game Native. It's active updates. They want to say this is updated recently versus Game Hub Lite, which hasn't been updated in a few months. And like I said, I don't have Game Hub. And Win Later hasn't been updated in a few months either. Even the custom forks. So they need to implement those new turnip drivers into the system. So we get to update, and developers, we love you guys. Honestly, that might be it for this round. I just wanted to talk about my Switch 2, how it's been failing me. And honestly, it looks like it's been failing a lot in the Nintendo land, unfortunately. Very, really proud of where they've gone, but where they're going, I have no idea. And yeah, it looks like we're all in the same kind of consensus. I'm sad I'm missing this thing, though. I did want to go to Pokemon Park while I'm out.
I can't believe it's here. The world's first permanent Pokemon. Look at all the Pikachus and Eevees. The Pikachu and Eevee forest. This is just so fun.
Oh, that's another thing.
Oh my goodness, there's so many of them.
That's the last thing.
Oh, babies. Babies.
Oh. That came out today.
Look at their fat
I think
little
that
cheeks.
Gen 10 might be it.
This is so cute. Oh my goodness. Hey, buddy. Oh. Hey, buddy. Hi. Hi. Pokemon Research Lab. Okay, so we went through there. Then we went through Pikachu and Eevee. Then the Diglett. And right here, the Squovet's rest area. I love it. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Because, yeah, I'm not trying to get in trouble. Silly. But, oh, that's so cool. I'm going to enjoy my time at this park when I eventually go. I love the life-size Pokemon idea. Yes, I just want to take a picture over here with Garchomp and Tyranitar. Actual members on my squad, for sure. Yeah, they leaked all this stuff. They leaked the gym badges, which, it's going to be gym badges and labs, apparently. Like a comment said on the Screen Rant article I was reading, not a comment, actually, it was a writer. I don't know why the gold and silver concept of gym and then post game gym is just so. To me, that was the best iteration. I hate to be the guy that shows my age, shows I came in the 19s, but gold and silver is peak. They're not gonna give us a remake. They should, even though it's the 30th anniversary. For those who don't know, I share a birthday with Pokemon, so that is one of the reasons why I still have Hung on. But 30th anniversary, and yeah, I don't know, man. They're not gonna announce gold and silver remakes, nor really should they, because Pokemon's is in a really weird state right now. I think that would be the way to get the nostalgia people. The game would sell out. There's way too many. I've seen too many commentaries and way too many lists to not know that the gold and silver hive, we are out there. But I've seen them leaning more towards, I don't know. We just got technically a Gen 4 or 5 remake in ZA, but I've seen stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know. I would prefer a Gen 2. Heart Gold and Soul Silver were literally, like, at this point, almost 10 plus years ago. I think they came out in 2013 or something like that, 2014. So yeah, remake them. I would buy Gen 10 and I'll buy a Gold and Silver remake. Other than that, I'm not buying Pokepedia. $60 for Pokemon Animal Crossing is ridiculous. $70, I think. It's too much. You guys are nuts. But yeah, go check out the leaks if y'all want to. They're there. I did. I don't care. I'm gonna get the game. My son and my family and my wife were excited for this to be our last Pokemon. That's what they're excited for, though. It's like this will be the last one that I've asked them to play with me. Because we're all kind of fed up. It was we enjoyed the journey in the beginning, and then it's just like, ugh. they're finally ready to get it over with, and I hope it's a bang. I mean, islands. I've seen the island leaks and stuff like that. The areas. We shall see. Um, let's see. That's all I really kind of think. It was the Pokemon stuff, which is important. You look at Nintendo's going downhill. Xbox, that don't make no sense. Xbox, I don't know why the sales are going up. Especially like I'm about to cancel my Game Pass. Are you nuts?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to actually the second, along with the
bulk of its sales early on in its life, kind of tailed off a little bit towards the back end of the year, but yeah, it was established at that point. I mean, Call of Duty, I think it was 16.
The software sales. Yeah. Software sales for the Switch 2. I think I mentioned this. They're bad. There's, as I mentioned, there was no good games. There's no good games. And from their Nintendo Direct, there won't be any good games. So no exclusive good games. Every good game they have, as we all know, we can get it on third party with better graphics. And if you wait a little bit with Steam sales, cheaper. So no exclusive. A lot of people seem to be impressed with the whole Indiana Jones. I didn't know that Indiana Jones apparently, I guess, it's coming to Switch 2, but couldn't come to PS5. That is crazy. But DLSS, I guess. DLSS, you can do magic. With the PSSR, I'm surprised. I mean, sure, they have to have a pro version, right? Same thing. Let's see what else they gonna talk about.
We shouldn't. I get it. It's a piece of hardware. I know, but these are. You can argue all you want, but these are different use cases, I would say, and so we track them separately. In any case, yeah, Switch 2 being the fastest selling. Of course, you know you only can be the fastest selling if you have the units to sell. And they did. They were very aggressive in their production, very aggressive in their upfront production, having available units in the launch window. And so what we ended up seeing is basically what we call a pull forward effect, where the units were available earlier, so the people that wanted them got them. And so we didn't see in the holiday window the lift from previous sales like you would in some other generations, because other generations would come in very supply constrained into its first holiday. They would save units to ship to retail for Black Friday or December. PS6 in the 27 forecast, but I don't feel great about it. I think it could be.
That's another part. I guess speaking of the Vita, then one more thing. I brought up Ambernick when I was talking about the whole, Android emulators, Linux-based emulators. How, like I said, they were my second company I bought. First one I was Retroid Pocket 2, and then I bought my Ambernick Blue Ocean baby, which I do the RG 351M, the metal one, the metal blue one, which I really like. But this is, I ain't gonna lie, trash. I'm calling it now. It doesn't even look premium. It looks, I guess, when you have this bad boy, which is the Retroid Pocket 5, which is literally the same form factor of a, look here, I have an OG PS Vita just ready to go. Mostly because I bought this on Facebook Marketplace recently. Because shout out to that guy. I got it when I say $125, $150, like cost essentially. But yeah, you look at this beautiful piece of tech, right? OLED screens before OLED screens were cool. See, they set a precedent. It's like the same size as the Retroid Pocket 5. Like I want to say the Retroid Pocket 5 has a 0.5 or maybe 1 inch bigger screen. Other than that, when we have this, there's no need for this. It's no need. Like y'all caught this way late, because then they're not even like powering it up with a really, really good SoC. So They got the back right, I guess, but it's like it don't even have the touch panel. No, 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 no. They don't. No, the D pad. It's close, but no cigar. I don't get the purpose, especially since I don't. What is the screen? It ain't gonna be OLED. Where can I see? What are we doing? It's not gonna be OLED. It's not gonna be powerful. I want to say it's like the equivalent to like a Snapdragon 865, something like that, with the Dimensity. It's not even using like super cool. RGB. No, I gotta see. I gotta see these stats. Where are you? Just so I can be as accurate as possible. No, they gave the chipset. No, nice try. Well, RG Vita and Vita Pro. Um, that's great. So the same as the RG. Lordy Jesus, not a good look, buddy. So no, we don't need that. You'd be better off just buying a actual PS Vita, honestly. It'll give you a better feel, better look. Only thing is you won't be able to. Well, no, you can't emulate games on this. You can put RetroArch on here. I have, and you can play up to like. I want to say up to PlayStation 2, but that's like pushing it, pushing it. I want to say 64 and stuff struggles a little bit. But Dreamcast, all that stuff, no. And then on top of that, PSP games, which are hard to run in emulated spaces, really easy to run on original software, original hardware. So that's crazy. I don't. So maybe we don't have that much data on it, but they're making it. I thought Amernick was quiet, and then they jump in. Oh yeah, that's yeah. If you don't get a Vita, 154 Vita, $200 for this. And then if you haven't gotten one of these before, 220 for the RP6, which would give you extra refresh rate, a little bit more strength. Yeah, no, I just all that stuff is pales compared to this, which I'm still putting my bet on my money on myself to myself that I'm going to get this, which I ordered after my AYN Thor before my Thor. I'm pretty sure. Yep, look at this. Boop, boop, boop. This is the updates for today. And the Purple Pro is not a part of this list. They're getting up to my numbers. But no. Probably not going to ship this week. So I'm probably not going to see it before my trip. So that sucks. But I would be really upset if I get my Portal before my Odin. Or before my Thor. That would be crazy. This is the best choice to me. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, 120 hertz, 7-inch screen, OLED. Yeah, I would get this over the PS whatever crap. And the new thing that dropped today, the Mamagi. Here we go. Um, here we go. Is this it? No. Why am I tripping? There we go. Mag and me. Where are you? No. It literally looks like a portal. It's an OLED. It has 120 hertz. Or no, is it OLED? Or is it? Oh, yes, it's OLED. 144 hertz. So it's like 20 hertz faster, 22 hertz faster, 24 hertz faster. Ooh. The only thing that I would say that it has over the portal is the changeable buttons, but that's literally just for specific people, and it's like $199, but it's only going to be $199 for this early pricing. 8 gigabytes of RAM. So it's like it's weaker in every aspect except this 24 extra hertz, and I think it might be slightly lighter. But this SoC, which it is great for basic switching emulation, it hits the wall a lot. I don't know why they put the Snapdragon 865 and the Retro 5 when the 8 Gen 2 was so long. That's one of the reasons I can't get with the Retro 5 6. I'd have tried to avoid getting the 5. I got this Android, as I mentioned before, this nice phone, this Motorola. I forgot what it's called, but it has 144 hertz AMOLED screen. Snapdragon 865 was like a compliment to my Odin 2. It's literally like the same screen, but it's got to add remote to it. And it's like, yo, I tried to avoid it because it is a very powerful, and I wanted my 144 hertz. I wanted my OLED. They should put in the Retro 5, not the 6. Or if anything, I wish I had just waited a little bit because I got it a Retro 5 almost a year after it came out. So I'm like, I just had to wait. But the 7's on the way. We already know 7's on its way. So I guess I'll just wait for that. And it's probably gonna have an Elite in it. And at that point, I can't get it because I already have this. Unless they charging like $300 flat, which would be lit. But this is me giving you an idea. Retroid. Ambernick. Y'all are all the same, apparently. So yeah. All right, that's enough for my rant. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. Closing up on YouTube. Make sure you follow YouTube, Patreon, Facebook, all that stuff. Like, and you will find me there.